We're going to look at the rules engine in Vestige DMP today. The rules engine is a combination of condition recipes, action recipes, and rules. Simple to very complex scenarios can be supported and created. A rule uses conditions that have to be met before any of the actions in the rules can be taken. Once conditions are met, most rules will create an event that will show up on the mapping dashboard in different places and for different reasons shown in other videos. Here we will go through some rule creation examples and general use of the rules. We will start by looking at an existing rule we have set up for monitoring geofence entries. A rule consists of multiple sections outlined by a stepper. First is the rule definition section, where you can define a name and description for the rule, decide what assets you want to monitor, and decide if this rule will include geofence monitoring. In a rule that monitors geofences, the second step will be the geofence definition, where you can define your geofence condition. In this rule, we are looking for the times when an asset goes from outside to inside a geofence that we have selected in the condition. The third step is conditions in general. Here we are including a schedule condition that allows us to say what days and times do we want to monitor for. Fourth step is actions. Here we are saying what happens when the conditions are met. This one, we are sending out an email that will be populated with information specific to the situation and asset we are monitoring. Now we are going to create a new rule using the create icon at the top of the rules section. This rule is going to monitor battery level, so we will name it accordingly. Then we will define what asset or group of assets we want to monitor. Clicking continue moves to the condition step. Adding a condition, we will select a condition from the drop-down list. Some conditions will have all of the details within the condition and nothing for the user creating the rule to do. Other conditions will have user editable variables at the time the rule is created. Here we will change the battery percentage to 20 and then continue to the action step. We can add the send email action, where we can input email addresses to receive the message. We can also customize the subject and body of the email. By default, you will have a general email that contains a number of substitution tags that will populate when this rule runs with relevant data. You can add to this email body with standard text or additional substitution tags. We will add some substitution tags for asset details and make and model. Every event has an event summary. If you have an email action, you can use the email for the event summary instead of the default event summary we will look at later. Now we will save this rule. Next, we'll move to the Event Details tab, where we can change the icon that will be displayed on the map when this rule runs and creates an event. We can also change how the event will be named when it's created. It can be named based on the rule name, you can define a custom name different from the rule name, or you can use an existing event name so multiple rules can create events with the same name. Rules can exist to do a number of things, primarily to create events, but they can also exist and run without creating an event. You can easily disable and enable rules as well. We will create one more rule example. Here we are going to monitor for a PTO. This time we will use multiple conditions that have to be met. The first condition doesn't have anything for us to change at the rule level, but the second condition does. The second condition is for monitoring days and times. The actions section does not need to have any actions for the rule to be complete. Here we aren't going to send an email when this rule runs and the conditions are met. We are only going to create an event to keep track of this information. We will look at the Event Summary tab. Since this rule does not have an email action, the default event summary information will be displayed with the event when we look at it in Asset Event History. We can again go to the event details and change the icon that will get displayed when the event gets created and save the rule. The rules engine can be used to create simple rules that only require following the easy steps without much user input, or it can be used to create very complex rules with multiple conditions and actions, and rules that depend on other rules to run. Most users will only need simple rule creation and a standard set of pre-populated conditions and actions, But for more in-depth details about the creation and use of conditions and actions, follow our advanced videos on the rules engine to see more of what is possible. Any further questions regarding this or any other topics, please see our other resource videos or contact support@vestigegps.com.